Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Excel Today. Sorry, I just realized I put my mic way far away from me. So you guys heard that, but good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone joining us. I know we have a global audience, everything like that. It's great to be back. I mean, it's been
a long time.
Yeah, Joe's been busy with teaching, and we were supposed to do a show yesterday, but one of our instructors called out sick last minute, and Joe, as the trooper he always is, stepped up and filled in for our client there. So that's why we're doing the show today. But welcome back, everybody. I hope you're glad to see us back. It's like Joe said, it's been a really long time. We are going to try to do more shows, guys. We're trying to get this to be more of a regular cadence again. So we're working together with Joe's schedule and my schedule to make sure that we can, get more shows going for you guys, just because,
so much more content, yo. There's so many new things.
Oh yeah, that, and there's so many new things. So many new things have come out. Python's coming to Excel. Copilot is rolling out to everybody. Teams just did a massive update, which we're going to go over today, and it's massive. I'm still staying with Classic, Joe. So you're gonna have to convince me why I need to move over to them.
I love the new sleek view. It's so cool. They have a theme for Classic, which I'll showcase. That's nice.
Hey, Ashomi, I hope I said your name right. And Zari, thank you for joining us. Canada, I used to be a Can-Ammer. My dad is a Canadian, so I used to have dual citizenship. So,
nice.
Greetings from a fellow Canadian or half Canadian. And then Zari, thank you for joining us from Pakistan today. Just wanted to give you guys some quick updates before I hand it off to Joe here to go over teams and everything like that, all the new exciting updates. Just a quick reminder, guys, it is Thanksgiving here in the United States, so we will not have a video this Friday, just FYI. It's just and then that also rolls into, I'll just give you guys our holiday schedule. We won't have a video the week of Christmas nor the week of New Year's. Again, that's just in holiday observances and everything like that. We want to give our guys off. Fahad from Saudi Arabia, thank you for joining us. Good evening, I think, over there, right? Good evening, or it should be just like later in the day. So that'll be the holiday schedule, but we'll come back right away. We have Tableau Business Intelligence. That's going to carry us out to the end of the year. That's going to be Trish Connor Cato doing that. That's going to be using Tableau, as you would if you were, business intelligence, getting data out of it, creating new reports and visualizations that will help you tell your data story or your business intelligence story. So that video series is coming up. That's going to be about 6 or 7 videos. So that'll carry us through the end of the year. And then we're going to start off with WordPress, and then we have a new course for you guys that we think is going to help out a lot of people. It's going to be Excel for accounting and finance. So all you guys that use Excel and the finance world or for accounting or anything like that, we have a course that we built up just for this. And it's going to be a little bit more role based, and it's going to get more heavy into, like how you would use this again in accounting or finance. So it's going to be more about the money, using Excel and money matters and stuff like that. So we hope you enjoy that series. And then next year, guys, we have a huge plan to do the Office 365 series. That means a new Excel class, new Word class, new PowerPoint class, new SharePoint class. All of it will be Office 365. So that's going to be our plan for 2024. And then lastly, I want to thank our members. We are up to 90 members. Thank you guys, every single member. It means so much to us for all you guys coming and supporting the channel. It helps us to, like I always say, it helps us to create more and more videos for everybody. And just a huge shout out to our subscribers, or not our subscribers as well, but also our members. Just really want to give them a lot of love and support, just because it really does mean a lot to us that you guys are supporting us like that. Trinice, good morning from New York. Yeah, I think it's like 11 a.m. Yeah, Joe's over there, so maybe you can meet up Joe for a bagel or something like that.
Yeah, we'll do lunch. We'll talk about Excel.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, that's it for me. Joe, there's one thing though, man. I got it, dude. I still got it.
No.
Yeah, the official Excel Today mug. It's been a while, guys, so I'll just go over it real quick. Like we try. This is a little bit we have here. A lot of people are back in the office, and again, there's dress codes and everything like that. So, one of the few ways you can be, show out your individuality at the workplace is your coffee mug. it's something, everyone can bring their own coffee mug with their own design. And if you want to support the show, again, we have the Excel Today one. The links are in the video description. But yeah, just wanted to bust this one out just to remind, just as a quick reminder.
I forgot mine, but I always have this one here, of course.
Oh, nice.
I have to have the wife cup on here.
Yeah. All right. It's
man.
your show, Joe. It's your show now.
I'm so excited. I do. I have a list of just different things I'm going to be going over for you. As you know, you've probably been seeing a little toggle point where it's like, hey, click me. I want you to see the new Teams that's coming out. And most of you might have also seen that the Teams has now changed their icon on our desktops. It says Teams Classic. So yes, they are doing a major revamp, and they are rolling it out in different periods of time. If you do have the privilege of turning on that little toggle and seeing the new Teams, I do suggest you do it. It is amazing. It's new sleek design. I personally love it, and there's some really cool things that I'm very excited to show you today. So I'm going to just share my screen real quick here. And before we go into the labyrinth, I'll just do that. There we go. So if you could see my screen, perfect. I'll hide that. So yeah, first off, what I wanted to showcase to you was the new design. And as I said before, you'll see here that it now says Microsoft Teams Classic, which is fine. I mean, Classic is good. If you use SharePoint, you know that sometimes you'll go back into the Classic setting because they never delete anything Microsoft. Everything's always kept. So if you do like Classic, you're more than welcome to keep it for now until they force you to download the new one. Anyway, now we'll see also on my taskbar, it does say new for Teams. And if you do exit out of Teams for any reason, if I did exit out, a little sneak peek on the new sleek look, but if you do exit out and you open up Teams again, they usually give you an option that says, hey, do you want to stick with the new Teams or do you want to switch back? And of course, me being who I am, I'm always using the new Teams because it's my favorite already, right? And we got to convince Ben now to use it. So as you can see, a sleek new color change to it as well. I just love the way it looks. Not only that, but besides just design, it's actually 10 times faster. Yeah, they have a new process underneath the hood there. So it's processing information at a rate that's 10 times faster than what it was before. So you will notice that switching between different sections, that will be a lot quicker, right? See how quick that is? And I know you might be saying, Joe, that's not that quick. It's like a 2-second difference, but it is. It's a huge thing because it's holding as much data as it can. A couple of things that I did write down here for you is I did want to go over some of the settings. So the settings have been moved around, some of them. If you go over to the ellipsis here, the 3 dots, you can access the settings again. And this is where you can toggle the new Teams if you already have new Teams. If you don't have new Teams yet, it may be over here on the left-hand side, and you'll see the toggle over here instead. But the minute you toggle it on, this is where you can toggle it off. Not only that, once you go into the settings, it now is the full page, right? It's the full space. Back in the day, it was just this little pop-up window. Now it's not. And it's, once again, forever categorized the same way. So if you go into general, you'll see some of the general settings. And you'll also see some new settings like open content in Teams window. You want to open it in the main window or maybe in a new window. But 2 of the things that really caught my eye here were, first off, the appearances. I love my themes. If you are like, Joe, I missed that purple theme, you can choose Classic again, and it'll go back to that purple header bar up top. So that's fun. But me personally, I like the light. Also, you can use the dark theme for meetings and calls. That is something you can toggle on and off now. You're more than welcome to use it. I know for me, when I'm in a meeting, I do like the darker around because it just makes my video pop more. But once again, that's just preference at that point. Chat density, you can choose whatever chat density makes sense. We have sign language views now. Animations you can turn on, and also you have teletyper mode. This is pretty cool as well. It connects to your TTY device if that's something you do have. Another thing that I do want to point out is going to be here in the files and the links. This is something that's really important because a lot of people have complained over the years using Teams. Man, every time I open up Teams, it opens up in the online version, right? Because if you open up Excel in Teams, it's the online version of Excel, and you don't have all of the tools. Well, not anymore. Now you can go into files and you have a file preference where you can choose if you want to open it in the online version of Excel or PowerPoint or Word or the desktop app. Now I'm a desktop app type of person, so you'll see my setting is already on desktop app, but you can choose to open up any files you click on in Teams in the browser or in the desktop app. And I think that's just something that's really amazing. So those are some of the new settings, but take time to like go through them. They're always constantly adding more notifications, activities. It just is a nice, sleeker look, like I keep saying, because it really is. It's just, it feels less junky and all over the place than, you know, the classic version just was all over the place. I like this version more. Another thing with your right here profile, you'll notice that they did move this around a little bit. They're all in the same spot. You can set a status. The status is a lot more up to date and synchronized. So for instance, if you are in a meeting, it will put you as busy automatically. So if you are in a scheduled meeting, if you're sharing your screen in any way, it will put you on do not disturb so that no pop-up notifications will come up and disturb you while you're sharing your screen, or somebody will be like, yeah, go Jets, and you're talking about something serious, right? And yes, the Jets are losing really bad, I know. That's my team, unfortunately. You can set up your status, by the way. You can do like be right back, appear away, and then set durations for that before it resets. You can also just reset your status to synchronize with that artificial intelligence behind the scene that is looking into your calendar sync. They do have this new thing. I do like the location. I don't know who's going to actually use this, but it is nice, especially if you're in a hybrid setting where sometimes you're in office, sometimes you're not. It would be really nice to say, I wonder if Ben is in the office. And instead of going and walking to Ben's office and seeing Ben's not there, I could just look on Team and say, oh, Ben's remote today. I can't go bother him in the office. So that's always nice. And I'll say remote. And then, of course, you can always set your status message. One of the biggest things here, though, is adding another account. This is seamless. Me being a trainer, this is super important because I live in other companies' tenants. That way I can train in their environment, right? Back in the day, it was a little hard. You had to sign out, then you had to switch over, then you had to do the MFA process. Now you can seamlessly switch between my actual company teams, or I can switch to a personal Teams account or another tenant that I live in. And you can just click add another account and then switch between them quickly. So really amazing there as well. Another couple of things that I wrote down here is, yes, they answered our prayers for chat. I could not stand this for years. You ever go into a chat, you're having a chat, and then your chats just get filled up and you're like, what I want to do is I want to, delete this chat. Maybe I just don't want it here anymore. I'm done with the chat. For instance, this meeting with Joseph Patty. I want to delete this chat. It's just taking up space over here. And unfortunately, I don't need it. There was no way to do that before. Now there is. Click the three dots, the ellipsis, delete. And yes, you can delete it permanently. Now it won't delete it on the other person's end. So if you are in like a meeting with somebody and you go over and they are responding to you and then you delete the chat, they still see that conversation on their end. So just keep that in mind. It's only deleting for you. Another thing is the apps add-in. So they have added a bunch of different applications here that integrate as your boards. We have Jira Cloud, we have News, Places, Poly, so that you can ask team questions. And they are constantly adding new applications. So just click into get more apps and take a look at those. Because like I said, constantly adding new ones. And I really do love this stuff. And look at this. And I like this too, like breakthrough. You can even play games, like little, breakthrough, play a game. It could be an icebreaker. That's always fun during a meeting. Make it more interesting. Another couple of things that I do want to talk about is Teams itself. So when you click into the Teams section, you'll see that you have your channels And the way that they used to happen is you would go in, you would click on the ellipsis here, and you could go to manage channel, right? Or you can edit the channel name. Now they do have a new section. It's over here on the top right-hand corner. It's known as the channel details, where you can click in and quickly see the details of that channel. For instance, who's in this channel? Who are the members? I can add members here as well. I can add a description to this channel. I can search for a channel or manage it, or even change the channel notifications. I'll also see all of the updates. So if somebody did rename the channel or added a post to it, it's all right here for me. And this alone is just worth switching over to the new teams because you have everything in one place. So I really do like this. Like I said, they didn't have this in the Classic, so this is nice. And don't worry, they do still have all of this if you click the ellipsis over here. So if you're like, hey, I don't want to change my ways, I know where it is, that's where I want it to still be. They didn't change it, but they did add another, multiple ways to do the same thing because that's just Microsoft's way of doing things. Another thing here is on your Teams itself, you'll see the ellipsis up here. And this is where you can access Teams, pending invites, and analytics. Once again, this is just another place. Instead of going into managing the team and then seeing the analytics here or the settings here, you can do all of that from up here now. And you can even see analytics here. So same thing, it'll showcase like my active users, active guests, how many posts, who's replying to these posts, is it a private channel or an open public channel, and how many people are actually on this. So I really do love the fact that they've added this. It's just easier to navigate. Another thing is the way that you add teams. So if you are creating a team, it used to be down here where it would say create or join a team. That is moved to now up top here with the little plus symbol. You're going to give that a click and you'll see you can either create a team or join a team. And if you click on create a team, take a look at some of the templates because they have been adding so many and they just keep adding. Every single month there's something new here. Now, besides just that, let's keep going with some of the posts because I have here a couple of really cool things with posts. Let's say that I'm in a post right here. I see this one. What I can do right away is I can actually just focus on this post by itself. So I can click the ellipsis here and you'll see there is an option to open this conversation in a new window, which means it's going to pop it up kind of like our chats when they added that feature. That way I can focus in on what's going on right here. And I really do like this because this allows for us to, once again, pop it out. And also if you click the ellipsis, you can zoom into it, give feedback about this, and you still have all of your other tools and you can be anywhere else. So if you like to do the whole dual monitor in one, I can quickly go to other sections and teams while still keeping that post visible for myself. Another thing with the posts here that I want to showcase, and I'm going to just make that a little bigger, is if you go into more actions, you'll see here that we have a ton of more add-ons, right? So you can quickly zoom in, create a card, or even create a tasking planner from this one post. So this is great integration here because no longer do I have to now go take this, create it in Planner on my own. I could just say, hey, create a task from this post. It's going to open up my planner and it's going to have all the notes in here. And then I can choose where this is going to go, what the priority is, and then the due date right away. So if you are talking about a project, like let's say this is a new onboarding process and somebody says, hey, I have an idea, let's do this. I can quickly select that and then make it into a task and say, okay, I just assigned your task to you. Now, another couple things I have written down here that I really was excited about was calendars. There are different templates here. So if you go into calendar section and you go over to the drop down, you will see there are a ton, just way more different templates like webinar, town hall, virtual meetings, control content, live events. And they do have a great read from Microsoft explaining what the difference is. But just to sort of talk through them a little bit, a webinar is great for internal meetings, especially if you're just showcasing something but you want people to ask questions. You can use webinars for that. Town hall is mostly for just giving out information, and you can have Q&As there. The difference between a webinar and a town hall and really what a post and a question is that when you're posting, anyone in the chat can respond, right? So if I ask a question to all of you right now, you can all respond at once. With a town hall, I turn it into a Q&A. So I ask a question, right? Or you ask a question, but only me or whoever I approve can answer it. So that's the biggest difference between those. And of course, depending on what license you have, it depends on how many people you're allowed to let in. Virtual appointments, this is really great because it has like a nice little meeting room and then you can let the person in. It's mostly for one-on-ones. And you've probably seen these virtual meetings in the past, especially during the pandemic. A lot of doctors' offices would start to do this, and different medical centers would do this, where they put you in a waiting room, maybe have some like music going or a background, something happening. So you'll see here via tailored lobbies, and you can now do that too. Controlled content meetings. This is mostly for, once again, internal meetings, but the differences between this meeting and a regular one is there's no guest access and you can't have someone share their screen. It's just you controlling all the content. It's kind of like you're a producer and you can sort of produce the event, but it's not a live event. It's just for internal. If you did want to produce a live event, you use live event. This is where you have a producer behind the scenes. You have multiple people and they can all share their screens at once, but then you choose who shares at what time. That way there's no like big transition where I'm like, hey, can you share your screen? Everyone's screens are shared, and now I'm just popping up the shared screens. And that way it's very seamless during the meeting. So those are some of the really cool templates there that you have access to. Play around with them. They're great. I personally love them, especially the virtual appointment. Really game changer on this. If I'm doing a one-on-one with a client, this is always really nice and it feels more professional. A couple other things just going through here. Calls, it just has a cleaner look. It's pretty much the same way that it was in the classic. But files, this is my favorite. Files it was slowly starting to integrate OneDrive, and now it's fully OneDrive. So when you click into files, you will see your OneDrive here. And it's just to show that, hey, listen, Teams is a one-stop shop, right? You can access anything from Teams. Access your SharePoint files, access your OneDrive files, access your team files. You don't have to really leave Teams to get a file now. Everything's in one place. So I do love that integration. And I can quickly see all of my quick access, right, to all of my different sites. And I can even go to that site. I can open this up in SharePoint, or I can just see my files that I'm working with. And these are all of my files, my personal files. So yeah, I do love this section. And then other integrations that they did just recently add here. If you click the ellipsis here, we have tasks by planner. That's something I love to keep on here because it allows for me to click into it. And you'll see here that all of my tasks will be here. Any tasks from Outlook that I flagged, anything that I have planned, and you'll see like get notes for Faz on a project alpha. I quickly can say, hey, I did that. So all of your notes in one place. It's also nice because when you do those posts, as I showed you before, like if I take this and I go to more actions, and then I go to, let's say, add or create a work item or create a new poll, or I add this in some way or create a task, it automatically can go over to those tasks there. And I'll just click add. The task is created and now it's here. So I can quickly see that in my tasks, I now have that, hey, everyone, click into it, and I see it. And I can even click this link to go straight to the online version, and I see it. Pretty amazing. So, all right. Now I'm not done yet because I do have one more thing I really want to show, and this one is my favorite. This is going to be the avatar, right? So they have avatars now that you can create. I've created one before, of course, our show today. And if you go into the calendar and do like a new meeting, I'll just meet by myself. Instead of showing your face, let's say, you worked an overnight, you got bags under your eyes like I do. You can quickly use an avatar instead, and you can even design it So I'm just going to turn this on. I do need to turn off my video here because they don't like sharing. And then I will turn this on here. That looks good. There we go. And now I can choose my avatar and see if it'll pop up. There it is. And I have created mine to look sort of like me. I tried my hardest to make it look like me. And there it is. As you can see, it is starting to move with my speaking, right? I can move my head around. It sees me talking. And I really do love this, especially once again, if you can't have your camera on, you're able to just have this nice little avatar. So I really do like this. With that said, that is some of the new features for today. I hope you really enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of this session. And I hope you're excited just to play around with the new teams. I mean, it truly is amazing.
Yeah, Joe. we did get one really great question from Ezeal.
Sure.
I'm going to pull it up here. If you add a channel, doesn't this create a ghost SharePoint site that is not able to be monitored by SharePoint IT staff, which creates significant security risk on various levels? I do have a little bit of an answer for this, just because I had to do this here at Learnit, but
Yeah.
it does create a separate SharePoint site. That is 100% correct. But in SharePoint admin, you can still see all those sites. It doesn't hide them anywhere. And you just go into your admin center, you click on sites, you click on active sites, and it's going to be under there. And it should be governed by all the same rules you have your IT team has set up for SharePoint. So it does require you to have a rule governance across the board in Teams and in SharePoint. So you just want to make sure that those are tightened up for that, because it can be overlooked, because it's like, oh, only certain employees are going to be in SharePoint. But if you're having outside people join on Teams as well, you need to create governance rules for that as well. So that's where that can be helped. So you asked the question that I had to take care of here at Learnit. So I was like, I'm actually able to answer one for once, Joe.
No, I love it. No, yeah, you're exactly right. And always remember that a lot of times there is inheritance. So a lot of those permission inheritance will go over through all of the created teams, right? And that's why we always say, though, when you create a team, just be careful, because it creates a SharePoint site, and that can be more work for our IT department. But they do have full access to it, and they can still, like Ben said, apply those permission inheritance to those sites. So don't worry. That's why a lot of people will say you have to request the team, just because when you introduce teams, everyone gets excited. They start creating teams for everything. And then there's a billion SharePoint sites on the back end, and it's kind of clogging up the servers. So yeah, great question. And yeah.
Yeah. So we hope we answered the question there for you, Ezeal. I think that does cover all the questions we have in there. But if you guys have any questions, we have just a couple minutes. But I'll give maybe you guys 30 seconds to type in there or not, just because I do want to give Joe the opportunity to go to sleep, because he did. We have an organization of over 100,000 with various divisions of security levels. Yeah, I mean, for sure, you guys are definitely going to meet up and make sure that, I mean, just standard practice, do yearly audits or quarterly audits, making sure that, everything is in line. I know that IT is one place that a lot of companies may not put a lot of resources towards now, just because it's just something that's happened with cloud computing and stuff like that. I can just tell you guys from experience, when I started at Learnit, almost all we did was technical training for servers and, site admin, security, and all that. That was 90% of our business. Now it's almost completely gone. So
you remember those big machines, man? The server rooms?
We had the server. I remember that, but I also remember us having to build labs, like SQL Server labs and all sorts of stuff that we had to host on the servers and stuff like that. So, I know that those are also areas that have been cut, but I mean, it's still, standard security practice to make sure that all your stuff is lined up across the board. And I know that might be very difficult if your team's been slashed, but it's definitely something to really, really try to stay on top of. And again, you can easily see all the active sites by just going into your admin center on SharePoint and clicking on active sites, and you'll see them all listed there. It might be a pain to have to go through all of them to see, like what's going on there, but it can save you if you see something unsavory, which it seems like you might be concerned about, there. So or security risk there. But it's definitely something you can view and definitely something you can monitor. You would just have to put resources towards it to make sure. Unfortunately, I don't think that's something that can be really heavily automated, for like monitoring or anything like that. That would have to be something that's maybe manually done, one big push, and then you kind of check it each week type of thing, just to make sure that everything's going well. I'm not an IT security experts by any means or anything like that. I'm just giving you the old stuff that we used to do on our IT side of things. So that's where this information is coming from. But best practices is everyone to be on the same page of what the permissions, what security levels are, and everything like that across the board. So you want that to be uniform if at all possible. And I do understand, with so many people and so many security levels, it's a beast to get through all of that. But it definitely. You guys definitely should make sure you do it just to be, if you want to be 100%, that you guys are secure, safe, and, your network isn't going to be compromised as much as you possibly can. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm going a little too far than my knowledge, honestly, there.
No,
but
it is the truth. Yeah, no, it is the truth. And don't forget, Microsoft, they have that. Actually, you're paying for that security too. So yeah, no worries. And hopefully it's not too much of a pain, Azil. I hope you get that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're a little bit over time, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, guys, no video this Friday, but next Friday we'll be back with Tableau. Big shout out to our members again. Big shout out to our subscribers. Thank you so much. You guys have made it, again, a very successful year for us here on the channel. So I want to thank both our subscribers and members, and even our non-members. If you like what you see, click that like and subscribe button. And I hope you guys all have a great Thanksgiving holiday if you're here in the States. If not, I hope you guys have a great week either way. All right. See you guys later.
Bye, everyone.